Hello Internet, Hiboson here. This week I'm going to go over my top 5 tools, well for me anyway, that I use whilst doing prop making. As it's something I want to get back to in the workshop here, I thought I'll give you a little heads up on some of the main tools that I'll be generally using as I go along. Anyway, not much point hanging around, let's get into this. So, in position 5, clamps. These are lovely and amazing little things. You will want to get some of these. For a bag like this, it's a little under a tenner, and if we just break into this here, you have some various different sizes. This is a fresh bag because I've got some being used elsewhere. When I bought this bag, I bought about 2 other bags while I was at it. So yes, there's something I use. So you have really nice big ones like that, as you can see, and I can put it on my hand. You know, not pleasant, won't want it to be there all day, but they're strong enough to hold a couple of things together. Starting to get to the point of a little bit of owl now, so take that off of there, and as you can see, it leaves a bit of a mark on my fingers perhaps, but good big ones for big things. Obviously medium-ishy ones for medium scale things, and then there's some little baby ones too. Like I said, a pack like that will set you back less than £10, and when you're trying to glue things together, hold things together, sometimes even just mocking things up, whether it be props or even other things, if you're doing like hardware kind of building and what have you, trying to build up some woodwork or something like that, things like this can actually be very, very, very helpful. So that's my number 5 position. Number 4 in my tools is vernier gauges or calipers, or whichever you want to call them. I have 2 types here. I have an analog type, which is basically you have to know how to read off the scale on there. It's not hard to do, very easy in fact. And also you have the digital variant. I know a lot of people tend to like the digital variant. This one needs a new battery because basically it just shows them straight off, but I actually generally prefer using analog ones. A couple of reasons. Sometimes digital ones can go off askew by a few mils and you don't know it, not until you go and shut them and zero them off again. But also, as you just saw there, that one's flashing because the battery is low. Analog one never run out of battery. I know when I pick that up I can use it and it will work. So they are very important, vernier gauges, because they're brilliant for measuring all what you need when you're doing prop making or other things, because you can do your exterior diameters with their internal diameters or whatever, or of objects, as well as depth using that piece there. So a good all-round measuring device. Obviously you've still got things like tape measures, and rulers and things like that, but these I find are a godsend. Anyway, that was my position number 4. Okay, number 3. Now, these have seen better days, these ones here, and I need to buy a proper decent set, but a good knife set, a good hobby knife, scalpel set, whatever you want to call it. These are brilliant because these are what, you know, you need to make sure these are old and rusty now. If you can look on the thing there, I've got some moisture into there and I've broken one because this was a cheap set. I'll be honest, this was a cheap set. I had to get them to tie me over because a good set I had went missing. So I need to replace it with a good set, but at the end of the day they got me by, but now they're old and rusting things. I wouldn't trust these now, being all rusted up. A safe knife is a sharp knife because if it's blunt, you hack away, it's when it slips more and it's more dangerous. So safety people, make sure you're using good sharp knives with good, nice, easy replaceable blades, and get ones with really good solid handles. These are a bit cheap and cheerful, like I said, but it's gotten me through for now. But anyway, also if you're going to be using knives and that, make sure you invest in a good, like I have here, cutting mat, because that will really help you out, because it stops you carving up your desk and all of that as well. So also they're not expensive either, so when you're investing in a nice knife set, invest in a good cutting mat as well, because it'll be a useful service. You'll probably get through a couple of these in your prop making lifetime, I'll assure you of that. But like I said, so cutting mat as well, don't forget that. But anyway, that was item number 3. Item number 2. Okay, what we have here is a fine detail needle and warding file set on this here. Again, these aren't usually highly expensive. I've got these at, I think, which is Focus, which I think is now defunct, I'm not sure. But anything like B&Q and the like, anyway, those sort of shops, you'll probably find a set in there. If not, look online, eBay, Amazon, usual things. Now, these sets here, I don't know if you can see that on this thing there. I'm missing a few at the moment. They're somewhere in the workshop. They have like half moons, squares, triangles, circles, rectangular, and what have you. These are all various very fine, small needle file sets. These are brilliant for getting all those fine little details in. And once you've taken the most of the material you need and you're getting something near to where you need it, these are the great little finishing touches there that can get you to that, prior to maybe a quick little like 1000 grit sand or whatever before you do a final finish off and paint on whatever project you are doing. But anyway, a needle file set like this is my number 2. And number 1, well, anybody that knows anything about prop making will know the number 1 tool you'll ever have in your workshop is a Dremel, or rotary tool of any other brand or whatever. I'm not being sponsored here, but I generally use Dremel. I've got this one here and I've got it with the little extender on, because I often have that hung up over out the way, so this comes down and I can spin it up to the speed I need. And I use this with the extender on, because using this, although I can use this fine if I need to, it is a bit bulky, so it is slightly nicer to have the one with the extender arm here. So that gives me a lot finer control. I've not got so much in the way when I am trying to get that final little. This I use for obviously cutting away a lot of the stuff before I use the files, and this is just brilliant. Once you know how to use one of these and you get proficient, it's amazing how much of the work, almost to the point of just only small amount of filing needed. Once you get a fine hand at these, they become an amazing tool. And I need to change my disc on that because it's got a little chip out of it. Anyway, the Dremel is my number 1, but also it's not listed as a tool per se, but safety goggles. People, please, if you're using things like this or any other kind of power tool or anything like that that's going to throw stuff up at you, make sure you are wearing some safety goggles. They may not make, you know, great fashion sense, but having been somebody who's decided not to on a few occasions in the past when doing things like dremeling and that, and then spent the weeks of painful eye and other things, and I've got away with it so far, and I'm still seeing that could go so wrong so easy. So be safe, people. So, but like I said, Dremel is my number 1. So there we go, that was my top 5. Obviously, if you're out there and you prop mate, you might have a different top 5. If so, leave them in the comments below. Let other people know what your top 5 prop making tools are. I have a ton of other tools in here, from pillar drills to belt sanders to knives, sharp sticks and pliers and sticky things and soldering irons, and oh, so many tools. But at the end of the day, for what I have in here and what I'm currently using, I think with those ones there, it's amazing how far those tools alone will get you. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed this. Feel free to hit me up on Twitter at Hiboson, and I will see you again next week. Bye!